Risk is another concept, another virtue I could have talked about in this session we have tonight. Risk is powerful. Richard Branson has taken risks all over the world. He flies his hot air balloon all over the place. And he was asked by the media, aren't you a daredevil? Don't you risk your life? And isn't that kind of crazy? And Richard Branson said, sir, no, I don't risk my life. He said, you don't know the difference between risk and calculated risk. He said, I'm very careful about what I do before I embark on a challenge. That's calculated risk. You take it. Listen, when you go out there tonight and you get in your car, you're going to be taking calculated risk. You take risks, but this is a calculated risk. You've decided that this was an acceptable risk. How do you go beyond that? Well, one way is to get a book, find a teacher, and get out there and take some more risks. Will this reduce stressors in your life and stress hormones as they're dumped into your life? Absolutely. That's the next level we're talking about. Do you want to be proactive about this, as Cheryl is talking about? Do you want to intervene? You can do it at that level. You can be proactive about it and get ahead of it. You can become preventive. What was it that enabled Wesley Autry to jump onto those tracks? He didn't just start that day. And you will find people who handle life well. Less and less of the circumstances of life are stressors for them. We don't call them stress anymore because they're not stress anymore. I'm saying to you, meditation is the technique par excellence, because what happens in meditation is we go beyond even all of this to a place where not stressor anymore. You don't look at it as stressor anymore. It doesn't matter to you anymore. You're beyond that. You can consider the interventions that I was teaching you today as antioxidants. So that in spite of the fact that you're going to accumulate these free radicals, just like you are now, you're sitting there breathing, you're not doing anything bad, but you're accumulating free radicals. Just through the oxidative process. That's what's going on. So you can intervene in that. What do antioxidants do? They sop up the free radicals and they neutralize them. And that's what I'm talking about. So to pick something that's good for you, go placidly amidst the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. To practice a little more number one space and a little more silence in it is to add antioxidants into your life through your psyche, through your will. And what I asked was, will that extend itself? Will those benefits extend beyond that time that you do that? Yes, they will. Just like the bicep work I did extends way, way beyond the time that I did it. Now, those ideas that are stressful, that are free radicals that you harbor in your mind, that we all do to some extent, need to get rid of them. Maybe psychotherapy is the way. Maybe getting a coach and getting rid of them is a way. Sometimes you can't stop the noise in order to sit still and meditate. You won't be able to do it. Because the free radicals, the old business, the unfinished business, right? The hurts from childhood, the resentments from whatever relationship you have, they're all brewing in there. And so they don't give you time, and so they just contribute to more free radicals. And they're dumping all the time. You want that to stop. As I said, psychotherapy, get a coach, read a book, study like the woman in the boat did. Make that a part of your life. Include these things. But don't do it all at once. Do one thing. Do one thing. Pick one thing. Start there with one new thing, whatever it is, and you will begin to do other things as well. You can't just grow one dandelion. Meditation was created as a tool for enlightenment by the ancient mystics from all cultures. The truth is that those mystics did use meditation for enlightenment. But today, as of about 50 years ago, there's a plethora of research showing that meditation is, besides a tool for enlightenment, is a tool par excellence for stress reduction, with health, heart health, emotional health, physical health, and soul health. So you can close your eyes if you like, or you can keep them open and let them get soft and just tone down a little bit. As you breathe, focus on your breathing and listen to the noise. Go placidly amidst the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without compromise, be on good terms with all people. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to your spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have the right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive it to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life. Keep this peace in your soul. Now, as you take a couple more deep breaths, choose a maxim that fits you and decide to spend some time cultivating it for yourself. And you will find that it will serve you, not only your heart, not only all of your organs, but your whole body and soul. There is an amazing interface between the body and the mind, just as I'm sure there is between the mind and the soul. There's an amazing interface. So that you cannot think without creating neurotransmitters, communicator molecules that travel all over your body and signal the state of your mind and your body to all of the cells of your body. All the trillions of cells in your body are getting that information. When you think a thought that is negative or depressive, that quality is communicated to the neurotransmitters that send it to the body. Now, you may think this is new for science, but it's not. Way back in 1984, the National Institutes of Health figured this out under the direction at the time of Dr. Candace Pert. And they knew that these neurotransmitters were traveling all over the body, neurotransmitters that were coming into being with thought, and were communicating to all the cells of the body the state of the thought that you were carrying at the time. If you're sitting at home and the phone rings and it's someone you don't want to talk to, those stress hormones are kicked off because of the neurotransmitters that you've just thought into being. They're nothing but little proteins, they're little peptides that come into being, and they communicate. They are connectors. They reach out and they touch. So if we are strengthening ourselves in terms of integrity, in terms of virtue, in terms of values, do you think these things are having an effect on your body as well as your mind? Well, today we know they are. I'm sure philosophers knew this forever. I'm sure the mystics figured this out long ago. Science has nailed it down in 1984 and said, this is what's going on. We found it in the laboratory. Your pancreas is in trouble because you think it. Your heart is in trouble because you don't think right. If you have a vase that's got bad water in it, you dump it out and you put new water in. But what if you couldn't dump it out? Like your body. You can't dump that stuff out. You can't dump your psyche out. You can't dump your emotions out. You can't dump your body out. They're all tangled up together. But what you can do, if you take that vase and you put it under water, that contaminated water, and you put it under a faucet, and you slowly run the water into the faucet, the exchange, the slow trickle will gradually happen. And before you know it, you'll have fresher and fresher and fresher water. But you need to keep the trickle going. That's why we talked about the principle of perseverance. You need to have strength to do it. You can't start with nothing. You need a little strength to start. That's why we talked about courage. You need to be good to yourself, kind to yourself. And go slowly. That's why we talked about compassion. And what about integrity? Well, I'll tell you what. Without integrity, there is no real happiness. Right? We would all agree with that. There is no real happiness without integrity. So we need that. So making yourself happy, increasing your sense of well-being then, creates the chemistry of good body health and good heart health as well. That's the beauty of this thing.